Hi guys, my name is Michael Bull. I'm with Dr. Stephen Edelson's MBA 622 class at Walsh University, and this is my summative video blog entry for the class. It's been a fantastic class, been one that's been obviously very relevant. I think for a lot of folks, it's an opportunity to really kind of take a look at your situation and how some of this information can apply. For me, it's really been a way for me to shed some light on my organization and the way that it operates and how some of these things I can take and really do better to help my organization and find new ways that I can take away and create a better situation for myself as well as for those around me. I look at it as a great opportunity as I move on in my career management with the people that I manage and with the project teams that I manage. So just quick background on me and what I do and what I'm involved in. So I work as an associate brand manager at Performance Health, a company up in Akron. It's a CPG company, health and wellness products. It's business to consumer marketing that I do. So think of everything from product management to all the fun stuff about marketing. Depending on who you are, you think it's fun. Advertising, social media, event marketing, all that kind of stuff. Previous to that, I worked at Shearer's Foods for a number of years, and I've been at Performance Health now for 3 years. I worked at Shearer's in a similar type of role as well, brand marketing, multiple different brands, just a little different. Potato chips, snacks instead of health and wellness products. I don't know if that's a sign there or not, but it is what it is. So my biggest takeaways, and of course it's tough to talk, 5 to 15 minutes or, this a lot of time that we have on the course of a semester. But I think whenever you take a class like this or whenever you listen to some kind of a speaker or presentation, you really pick out and you take away the things that are relevant in your life at that moment, or how those things obviously relate to your past. So uniquely at this time, there's been some things going on in my career and in my organization that have really made a lot of this work relevant for me. So I want to focus on some of my biggest takeaways and what this class has taught me. My two biggest things are around communication and around teamwork and group work. They're relevant instantly to my situation because we'll just start with communication. We'll hop right in, right? So why it's relevant for me. So in the last 12 months, my organization has gone through a reorganization. In fact, I should say we've actually gone through 2 reorganizations. One in June of 2014 and one in April of 2015, just within the last 4 weeks. My company has gone through another reorganization. So changed once, twice, actually twice, where my situation is totally different. The makeup of my team is different, and the way in which we operate as an organization is different. So we'll back it up a little bit to how this has gone for me and how communication specifically ties into my situation. So in June, like I mentioned, we went through a reorganization. We went through that because we acquired a smaller 15-person operation out of Maryland that was a very successful CPG company, very similar to some of our brands at Performance Health. But this company is only 15 people. It's small. And I think one of the things that's really important, so great situation for a company when you're in a situation where you're acquiring, where you're purchasing, or bringing on more people, more assets, more brands, more opportunity. But one of those key things is you bring along people. Yes, you bring on added revenue and all those other great things, but you're bringing in a new culture, a new community into the way that you do things. Now, some companies may be a little bit averse or apprehensive of bringing in new people because they have scary new ideas, right? Oh, we've always done things this way. We don't want to bring in these people. it's kind of a ridiculous way for a company to think unless you've figured out the secret sauce, right? The magic fairy dust of business that keeps you alive forever just doing the same things. There's a few companies I think that do that. We weren't one of them, right? So change is good. But so again, you bring in people and you bring in cultures. So this company specifically, it operated in a way that was much different than our company. It operated really, it's probably not a fair assessment, but it's the word that I'll use. It operates as a fraternity of sorts, right? Kind of a club, just a group of friends and people who have gone through like situations and have a common identity, a team maybe, and they just operate a little bit differently. My company operates a little bit more traditionally, a little bit more professionally, lots of processes, and you go to this person and this person and this person to get a thing done. Let's build a project team. Let's do things like that. Positives and negatives to both of those things. But this company had been very successful. But because they operated so differently, conflict arose out of that. And lots of conflict arose, actually. And this conflict arose because communication was poor, right? I realized that the group communicated really loosely. Again, it said it's like a fraternity. Imagine just talking with your buddies about an idea and saying, hey, can you do that? Yeah, let's run off and do it. They were a group that thought about the opportunities that existed in the here and the now because they're a newer company and they had to get things done. And they weren't thinking about necessarily further down the road, much further than their next opportunity. But who could blame them, right? But so take those two cultures. Take our organization that works slowly, that has processes like detailing things in writing with email and doing things a little slower and a little more elaborately, as opposed to just peeking your head out around the office door and saying, hey, can you get this done for me? Great. Go off and do it. Done. Opportunity is completed, right? And also when you're bringing in those two cultures, there's issues with a little bit of reluctance to communicate, right? This is intercultural communication at its finest. It's not necessarily, you think of intercultural communication as country to country. This is company to company, and some differences in the way that we communicate because of our cultures. It really goes to show how it can break down lines of communication just through culture. So one of the things that this course had taught me, and some of the stuff that we talked about, was we talked about just taking a step back and learning about how this culture really operates and understanding, okay, what are the things that are important to them? What makes them tick? And this really hit home for me. And so through this class, I was able to do that. I was able to step back and say, okay, well, they operate a certain way. At a certain point, they're going to continue to operate that way. They're still in Maryland. They are one company with us now, but that office still exists. So that culture still is continuing to perpetuate. That's not going to change. So it required me to really take a step back and learn why they do the things they do and why they tick the way that they do, and how they communicate so that I could then communicate more effectively with them. It requires some more work on my part. That's absolutely. But because I've been able to communicate effectively with them, they respect me and they value me a lot more for it. And we've been a lot more efficient in the last couple months. Since February, March timeframe, we've been able to really get some great things done and finally hit a groove. Now, when it comes to teamwork, okay, so teamwork is involved with just my team specifically within marketing, and then also with project teams. On this topic, I was able to take away so much from the discussions that we had, and like I said, so my job consistently requires teamwork. It's something that our organization is built on. It's just the way it works. We don't have a lot of individualism, be that as it may, but it's a big part of what we do. So whether it be my day-to-day team of fellow marketers or a project team that's working on new product development, there's always something with a team or a group. So Here's the thing that I sometimes forget with groups and teams, and this kind of helped me realize this. This class did. What may work for one person as far as my communication methods or my leadership style may not work for everyone else. It's like, consider yourself being a teacher, okay? My wife is a teacher. Not every single kid learns the same way. Same deal in a group. Not every single group member or team member learns and operates the same way. So even though my team may have a common goal, a common identity, you're a project team at Performance Health working on X product, common theme, common identity. That doesn't mean that everyone's a carbon copy of the person sitting next to them, or even worse, of me, which how easy is that, when you're the project leader, to consider that, well, everyone should act like I do. It's not true. So it's really motivated me to take a look at those teams and work to focus on people and working within their strengths. I know people are meant to lend their expertise on a team, within the organization. But just because they're in operations or finance doesn't necessarily mean that they work the same way as I do in marketing or somebody else does in, my regulatory or quality department. That's not the way everybody works. So I can tell you that, for example, a fellow team member of mine who works in marketing, she is not great at articulating ideas and thoughts verbally. Super difficult. Imagine that, right? A marketer that seemingly can't take their ideas and put them into words verbally. That seems like, aren't marketers supposed to be creative? That's just not how she operates. But when you allow her to write creative copy, she's fantastic with great ideas. Absolutely fantastic. She's also very good at just taking opportunities that are happening in the blink of an eye and completing them quickly and effectively and having them take shape. Unbelievably valuable skill, right? To have somebody who can take something and say, we're going to get this done and get it done, that's unbelievable. But without realizing that at first, I really struggled with that. I really struggled with finding a way to fit her into the mix. And it was difficult. It was difficult to work with her. And I really had to step back and take a look at the way that I was doing things. And I can't put her into a cookie cutter example of what I need that person to be. So just like with any other team member, that's the approach that I have to take. I have to take a look and learn from that person, understand why they do the things that they do, and how I can best leverage and harness their strengths to maximize them for the greater good of the team. So those are just two things. This time went unbelievably quick already, but those are two of the things that really stuck out to me. Plenty of other things. I became more self-aware in this course. I found ways to identify my own strengths, my own weaknesses as a person, personality flaws as well, the way that I manage, taking a look at how I'm being managed and how I would like to do that to my peers and my future direct reports. I've been challenged by the ideas of my classmates too and encouraged by their feedback. It's been a great environment to learn in and with such a group that's so willing to learn. It's really just an unbelievable value to be able to go through this class and learn these things. And so with that, I thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll see you around sometime soon. Thank you.